Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Who are you talking to then? There's nobody else around. Don't know if any of you remember that famous movie quote by Robert De Niro in the movie Taxi Driver. So although it's a very famous movie quote, I think it's a question that we should be asking ourselves on a regular, daily basis. I mean, when did it become acceptable? When did we start believing that it was okay to speak to ourselves in this negative, abusive, destructive manner? Thinking, well, nobody's listening. Nobody can hear what I'm saying, so it doesn't really matter. But I want to tell you that somebody's always listening, and that somebody that's listening is you. And the you that is listening to how you speak to you on a regular basis is the most important person you should be aware of. Because what happens is when you speak to yourself like that on a consistent basis, it starts becoming internalized. It starts creating a belief within you. See, it's not like you're speaking to somebody else that maybe they just didn't hear what I said, or maybe they simply just misunderstood what I was trying to communicate to tell them. No, it hears clearly what you tell yourself on a regular basis. And it thinks, hey, this is what we must be. To an extent that one day, and I'm sure this has happened to you, find yourself, your brain just says, hello, don't forget what we are. We haven't told ourselves today how useless, how incapable, how incompetent, how stupid, how ugly, whatever it is that you tell yourself on a regular basis. You see, what it does, it starts pushing up those thoughts and saying, hey, don't forget to tell yourself, isn't this what you want? Isn't this what you want to hear? You see, when we break ourselves down, when we just continue to belittle ourselves, I mean, when you find it easy to look into the mirror and say, oh man, I'm so ugly, I'm so tall, I'm so short, I'm so fat, I'm so grey, I'm so young, I'm so old, whatever it is. When you're able to break yourself on a consistent basis, I want to tell you guys, it's not true. All it is simply just a made-up story, this fantasy that you've created in your head, that you've repeated so regularly and so often that your unconscious mind now believes that this is who you think you are or who you want to be. But just remember that just because they thought that the earth was flat for thousands of years, or that the sun rotated around the earth, didn't mean that it was true. See, everybody believed it, but it was only when somebody was willing to challenge that. Somebody was willing to say, hey, maybe there's more to this. Maybe we can adapt this thinking. That they actually started seeking the truth and finding out what it was. Only then did the opinions start changing, and did people become aware of what the truth is. Because how we allow ourselves to speak to ourselves, honestly guys, it is insane. I mean, if you were to think about it, if somebody had to speak to you in the negative manner and say the words that you say to yourself on a regular basis, how would you react? How would you respond to them? Or if somebody said those kind of things to somebody that you loved, maybe out in the street, somebody just starts hurling these abuses at somebody that you love or at yourself, how would you defend yourself or defend them? If you had somebody that you really loved and you really cared about, and you spoke to them the way in which you speak to yourself sometimes, would they feel loved and encouraged, or would they feel broken down and destroyed inside? Because there's no difference. There's no difference between speaking to somebody that you love or speaking to yourself. You need to start empowering yourself, because you've got to stop accepting it, you've got to stop believing it, and you just got to stop doing it. You can't speak negativity and expect to live positively. You can't speak defeat and expect to live in victory. You can't speak these words of lack and expect to live a life of abundance. Guys, if you plant tomato seeds, don't expect to harvest apples. It just ain't gonna happen. It just can't happen. So challenge your thoughts. I mean, just be absolutely aware from now on and catch yourself. Catch yourself when you're saying those negative things to yourself, and then instantaneously stop and say, hang on a minute, and then switch it around. Switch it around for a positive, empowering belief. Change it up. So if you find that you say, oh, I'm useless, I'll never get it. No, then change it to I'm an amazing and I always achieve my desired outcomes. Or maybe easy to say, oh, I'm stupid, this always happens to me. No, I'm abundantly intelligent and everything happens for my benefit. You see, when you start instantaneously changing those empowering thoughts, you start reprogramming your consciousness, it starts heading you towards that life of fulfillment, that desired life of prosperity that you were meant to live. Because your life can change from the inside out. And your words and your thoughts will either be used to make you or they'll be used to break you. Joel Osteen tells a story in one of his books about his nephew Jackson. And every night Jackson's mom used to put him into bed. And when she put him to bed, she used to tell little Jackson what he was. She used to tell him these amazing superheroes that he was. She'd put him in bed and she'd tuck him in and she'd lead him and she'd, Jackson, you're my Buzz Lightyear. You're my Lightning McQueen. You're my Mr. Incredible, my Captain America. You Superman. And one night they got home late and Jackson's mom just carried him to his bed, put him in, tucked him in, gave him a kiss and left the room. And about a minute later, his mom heard this, Mama, Mama. And when she went into the room, she said, Jackson, what is it? He looked at her and he said, Mama, you forgot to tell me who I am. Who are you telling yourself you are on a daily, consistent basis? What are those words that you are using in your life and on yourself regularly? Because from today, I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to be your own Robert De Niro. I want you out the day to just say, are you talking to me? And then change it up. Because what you tell yourself you are on a regular basis, inevitably, is who you will be and who you eventually end up becoming. Thanks for listening. God bless.